Yes, now, and welcome back to episode 102 of the Top Loaded podcast. And obviously, we are following on from the big success of last week of the London Card Show. And joining me was a fellow recruit who actually managed to do both days in the end, and the budget was blown out to the water on the second day. But first of all, obviously, the one and only Jack from GBW. How are you doing, my friend?
Oh, I'm doing very well, thank you. Thank you again for having me on the Top Loaded podcast. What an honor. Episode 102. Incredible scenes. But yeah, what a weekend we've just had.
Yeah, like I say, it was a very busy weekend. Obviously, for me, I was just doing the Saturday, and obviously you've done the Sunday as well. So before we talk about that, and obviously I've actually got to say massive thank you for third down because my Steeler Black Stallions in the background is absolutely shining after their card cleaning. But yet again, this episode is obviously powered by Third Down Displays, your number one spot for all your hobby needs from card cleaning at car shows, which is a big one. Obviously, custom car stands like the one on offer here, the beautiful Toy Story one, which I don't think you want to be showing that one off because I think a lot of people might be nicking your really one of one design at the moment. But obviously, likewise with backboards, custom card stands, great preparation kits, top loaded sleeves, you name it, they have it. And obviously, if you use TCP10, that is 10% off that discount, or use link in our bio. But what a show! Was a very busy show, I'd say, especially the Saturday. Obviously, before we're coming to Sunday later on, but it always seems to surprise us how busy it seems. But it definitely seemed busier for some reason this one.
I feel and Harry spaced it out more of the tables as well. I don't understand it. Yeah, I mean Saturday's chaos. I'm definitely in a position where I think next time I will probably vendor on a Saturday, walk around Sunday, that sort of position. I'm not too sure, or because I didn't actually mind walking around both days, even though Saturday was hectic, and I'm glad I got out of it to go to a football match. Let's just say that, to get away from all the people. But it's good to see the numbers coming into these card shows. 4,000 was it on the Saturday, or was that the whole weekend?
Whole weekend, yeah, 4,000.
Whole weekend. Yeah,
insane.
That's a lot of people for a card show, considering where it was at. What, a year and a half ago? Absolutely crazy. So again, kudos to Harry and his team. Got a lot of people behind him now, which is great. So yeah, hats off to them. You've got to give them credit where it's due. Busyness surely shows a sign of success. So hats off.
I was going to say, I think the massive change as well, what we was very fortunate to realise was the VIP window obviously being extended by that additional half hour. So between 9 and 10 was VIPs and ambassadors, which I think gives a massive added bonus for the people who are picking up the VIP option, because with that half hour, especially if you're talking to people or mainly looking at a few stalls, you can't really get round in that half hour. So having that additional half hour this time for people to walk around, find some cards, I think it makes that VIP a much more valuable thing to take up. Obviously, with the VIP, you do get the trade night as well, but that extra half hour is key. And I think it actually spaced it out really well as well, that hour. Whereas a lot of people going to certain tables and they're just staying there, because it was that additional hour, it was quite spread out. And that 9 to 10, I don't know if you agree, it actually felt very spacious. Obviously, it was always going to be until the masses came in, but it was very well thought out. Having that extra half hour just gives the bit of bonus of getting them better deals, or not even the better deals, just finding the cards before they actually get swallowed up by everyone else.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. It's just a good point to chat to people as well, because when the the 10 a.m. doors open, you've got so many people walking around, obviously with their big bags, etc. Obviously, Cloakroom, good addition again. And yeah, another nice addition. Yeah, I think when you're first walking around, you don't want to make any big purchases just yet. You just want to be talking, seeing familiar faces. So I do recommend for the next show, anyone watching, pick up a VIP if you can. They will probably sell out quick. But yeah, definitely worth the extra half hour to, suss out the table, see what sort of cards you want to buy, see where you want to, see what sort of route you want to plan, etc. And if you do see a gem of a card on the first table you see, you can get it straight away before the doors to the masses open.
I was going to say, that's literally the first thing that happened to me. I thought I went over to say hello to Ferdinand. Went over to fuck with Dan's table, and he had a lovely Aaron Ramsdale to 10. I was like, well, this might not be here much more. So I was like, I'm just going to pick it up to begin with. Funny enough, I was like, if I don't pick this up, someone else is going to do it. So I better get that deal done. And it kind of sets the tempo for the day when about 9:15, you've already picked up the first card. But it seems to be a very good showing, like show on offering quite a lot of good range of cards. Obviously, I understand people's perspective on the vintage side that there wasn't much vintage, but it's always a harder perspective with the vintage because it's a much niche market. There's less people to buy it, but also less people to sell it. And then obviously there was one table, I can't remember the gentleman's name, but had an absolutely sensational amount of vintage. We're talking Maradonas, Pele's, Puskas', you name it, he had it. And that was a fantastic sort to see. But I found that there was a lot on offer, and not just a lot on offer, but it seemed like a lot of people were buying stuff and doing deals. It seemed like, whereas some shows, it seemed like not much action was actually getting done over the tables. It actually seemed like there was a lot of business getting done at all times.
Yeah, what I noticed is that the variety of cards and the sort of the price brackets of each card was so different. You know, you could, there was so, like the flick through bins, pound a card, 50p a card, sometimes even less, which was great. People with their binders, so you can flick through those, pick out some nice cheap numbered cards. But then you got people with the cases and the big slabs, some absolutely mental cards I saw this weekend, by the way. I think probably the most mental cards I've seen ever at a London card show. But then again, I haven't had the fortune to walk around much at previous shows, but I couldn't quite believe some of the cards I was seeing, to be honest. Obviously with the addition of Disney as well this time. It's the first show since the Disney Chrome craze, or second show actually, since the Disney Chrome sensation, I guess, from Topps. So yeah, a lot of really, really nice cards, expensive cards, understandably. But then there is something for everyone's budget, something for everyone's PC. And as you said, a lot of trades were going down as well. Seeing people, people walking around just with VIP tickets or general admission, bringing their cases along and doing deals with the vendors, again, which is great for keeping fluidity in the market. And putting more cards on people's tables. For example, what if the guy's not vendoring, trading in a card with someone, and another guy bought a ticket, wants that card, perfect. He can just buy it from them. It's great, great to see.
I was going to say, I think we've mentioned it quite a lot off air, but also on air as well, that we can really see every London card show, but not just London card show, every show that goes past, wherever it may be in the country, that the UK market is truly understanding the hobby a lot more every single time, whether it's the buyer's perspective, the seller's perspective, trading perspective. That I think there's been shows that have passed that prices have been very heavy and not easy to get a deal done at, whereas it seemed like this time as well that the pricing was a very good point for a lot of cards, that there was near enough bang on, not even at comps. A lot of tables I see were like 90% of comps, which was getting a good deal, that getting people in on the table. But then also, like I say, people were open to trades, open to do a bit of a deal as well, multiple cards. And I know we've seen it a lot in videos from all the big YouTubers in America, but do you agree now that the UK hobby is really maturing now, and it's really understanding the card show? It's not an eBay platform where you just stick it out a price really and just wait for it to sell. That get deals done, get the trades done, whatever it may be. But seems like I found that the pricing was a lot better at this show in comparison to ones in the past as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think that, again, as you said, it sort of comes with time, experience at card shows. Yeah, I think the more card shows you go to, you get used to the sort of cards which do well, cards which don't do too well, and having cards at various different price points and price ranges for buyers is perfect. So yeah, I can't really argue at any of the card prices this time round. We'll show our pickups in a minute, and people were willing to negotiate quite nicely, which in the past it hasn't been possible. There's been cards which I can personally admit I've overpaid for. I'm sure you've done the same. I'm sure we've all done the same. But this show in particular, I wasn't expecting to go in there and pick up any cards, and I came out of two pretty sensational ones. So hats off to the two people I did deals with. And again, I'm sure that's the same for a lot of other people going there. Picked up some great deals, picked up some nice cards for the PC, and that is what we like to see at these card shows.
As I say, I think it's great as well because you build relationships with different vendors, and obviously it goes past just vendor and buyer at this point. A lot of people you do deals with at a show and you keep in contact with them. But I was thinking about it today. Funny enough, two of the people that I'd done a deal with at the last show, I done deals with this one, and then one of the other ones I picked up was from 2 shows ago. So the thing of like, how I see it was last time I got a really good deal with someone, so I paid a bit stronger this time because they gave me a bit of leeway the last time. So it kind of goes round in full circle that obviously you get better deals, you get better transitions with people, and you just learn their cards. And obviously, for me, obviously one of the stalls is always probably my go-to one, and everyone laugh and joke saying, "Have you been over there yet?" Like, not obviously, I had been over there straight away. Obviously, She Scores Cards table, which is always one of my favourite ones to attend. The only women's only cards one at the London Card Show, which was fantastic to see them along again. With some absolute fantastic women's cards, obviously tempting me as soon as I walk through the door, which is always dangerous. You was actually the person who tempted me the most at the last one, as I got to helping you set up, and I was doing a deal as you was taking them out your case. But it was nice to see some women's cards available. Obviously, Max as well had some lovely ones, and there was a few others scattered around. Not as much as we would like, but that's mainly down to the sets haven't been coming out recently. It's been quite a while since last year's Chrome and Sapphire and also Donruss, but it's nice to see slowly more tables picking up, even if it's just women's boxes, which there was a lot more of. But the women's side is definitely growing within the hobby space as well.
Yeah, and there was a few people as well, like Football Cards Direct, Kaboom as well, I think, stocking the women's stickers as well, which is great for the kids attending, which again, the London Card Show did great with in getting the whole family out to the show, which is obviously what Harry wants to do, which is fantastic, getting tickets sold, making it a nice weekend away for the family, and not just your dad going out there to pick up some cards at astronomical prices. But yeah, no, I completely agree. Women's cards are starting to become more prominent at these card shows. There definitely would have been some more if I was vending. But yeah, as you said, Max had some unbelievable women's cards on his table. She Scores Cards as well. Really surprised he didn't go for that Beth Mead out of 25 PSA 10 auto first year.
If it weren't for a certain other transaction in this month, that probably would have come out with it. But I was going to say, even the addition and the development of the main stage, and obviously you're the perfect person because you had 2 slots on the Saturday. Not just, we was not lucky enough once, but we got to see you twice. Obviously, once part of Tops and the other with Whatnot. So how was that for you? Obviously, I know you've been on the main stage most London car shows you've been at, but obviously breaking, being more interactive, especially with the Tops ones, getting out there with people breaking with giving away. So how do you find that experience with the main stage? Because that's kind of a central ground where people can sit there, relax a bit, but then also take in breaks or whatever may be going on.
Well, as you say, it's a great place for people to see the hobby in action, so to speak, with a box break going down and a chance to win some nice cards, especially with the Tops one. And it's just a place to sit down as well, because if you are not vending, you're walking around the whole day. It's just a nice, comfy seat as well to sit down, watch on the Sunday, of course, Q&A of Carlton Cole, me with the breaks on the Saturday, etc., and the Deal or No Deal on the Sunday. So yeah, it's good to have all that entertainment going on. In terms of how the main stage went for me, it was good fun both times. Wasn't expecting to do anything with Tops on that day, but they saw me. They weren't expecting to see me there. They saw me and decided to help get me there to open a box of Showtime or 2 with people from the crowd. And well, let's just say that went well. One of the boxes was pretty sensational. 1/1 Martin Odegaard from Showtime and a Rooney Bargy auto to 10, true rookie Rooney Bargy to 10, which is pretty sensational. That was in one box as well. So Darren, if you're watching, you're welcome, in the words of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. But yeah, no, it was great. Whatnot was fun as well, doing the Whatnot stream there. You know, it is quite fun holding a mic in your hand. I feel powerful.
Yeah, as I say, it's always good fun to, when you even just walking past it, to see what's going on, whether it's to do with Lorcana, Pokemon, whatever it might be. It's just because sometimes even with the other ones for the TCGs, I kind of stood there for a minute and just watched it to see what was going on. But then also what was great to see was like the likes of Gold in there again, like for the first. Like, I think that was quite cool, even though it's probably not the busiest show for them, but them just being in the UK shows that they have a presence. They want to grow within the hobby here. JSA as well being there. So having these American companies as well being a presence at the shows, obviously PSA sponsoring the trade night. Hopefully, if more but further development down the line, like what Harry was saying, that the dream is obviously PSA subs there. But it's great to see that America is taking notice of the London Card Show as well, because we love watching the American ones. They drop their cards off in the morning, they pick them up in the evening, or you get all the different grading companies there. But showing now that America's interested in the London Card Show shows how, I think it's a true testament to Harry and the team that it is going places. People are seeing it. I remember, I think it was the day before the London Card Show, it was the Friday, Card Collector 2 put up a thing of like tweeting one of the London Card Show, my favourite place I've ever been for a show, can't wait to go over there soon. So it shows you that it's leaving a positive impact in like their experience within the hobby as well. So it's great, isn't it, to see America. But I think we're going to have to go to the States soon, aren't we, really, to have something to compare it to.
Yeah, it has to be done just because I want to find that Charlie Austin Chrome to 25 in someone's flick through basket. Because it's definitely going to be in there for £1 or $1, should I say. But yeah, testament, as you said, to Harry and the team for making the show what it is, getting these huge American companies. These are not just, your average like businesses out there. Golden, as much as I haven't had a good experience with them in the past, are huge. So it's great to see them there for the more expensive side of cards, getting those big auctions done, because it is the biggest place to sell your cards, in the hobby, so to speak. PSA as well. Hopefully one day we can get that on-site grading. It will cost a fortune, no doubt, but it will be worth it to have a PSA card, sub in the morning, take it home at night. Oh, good grief. But the fact they even sponsored trade night and giving away free subs is sensational. And that is why the London Card Show, as Pacrib mentioned in the last show, is like the last podcast, couple of podcasts ago, actually. It's like the mecca of card shows in the UK. So yeah, the more shows that keep happening, the more people are attending. All these companies for the first time are seeing the amount of people attending as well. Will make them want to keep coming back, improving their sort of what's the word? Like their presence. That's the word. Improve their presence at the show. Can only be better for Harry and the London Card Show and other card shows in the UK as well.
I was going to say, I know we just alluded to the trade night just then, but I can't remember a trade night. I've obviously fortunately been to all but one, but not seen one that busy.
No.
We got in there. I think you got in there about half hour after. So me and Lav Rachel, I was with, got in there about quarter past. And even then, I was looking around like, this is busy. But then people kept rolling in. They had to get more tables out, more chairs out, because it was getting rammed in there. And that is another testament as well, that people are actually really getting behind the trade nights. There was a lot of deals getting done. There was some very high-end deals getting done as well. There was a gentleman from America to the left of us who had some absolutely incredible NFL cards, which was getting a lot of interest. There was some good deals getting done, trades getting done. But even from your Pokemon binders up to whatever it may be, they are a lot more fun to go to trade nights, because people who are vendoring will bring some of their own cards along that they want to trade away. That it brings so many more cards into the market of, all right, they might not be able to sell that one, but they might then trade it for another card which they can sell. And it opens the possibilities. There's so many more offers and trades. I know we were sitting next to each other quite like most of the evening, but it's so good to see the trade nights getting back, because I remember the first one where it was about 6-7 rows of seats, not full up down the bottom. Now it's near enough half the size of the initial upstairs card show. That's just a trade night.
Oh no, it's bonkers, and it's not just sports as well. You've got your Pokemon, TCGs out there as well, and it's a good place again for the vendors to mingle, chat, because during the day on a Saturday it's quite chaotic, as we've mentioned. So it's a good place to just go there, do some trades, put up your card case, see what sort of deals you can do, and deals are done at the trade night. Some big deals are done. I've done a couple in the past. Yeah, and you've got refreshments as well on hand. At the tuck shop, you've then got Jamie at Sports Training Cards UK. They're selling boxes for anyone like myself who likes a rip. So yeah, you've got pretty much everything you need there. It's like a mini card show in itself, really, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh no, it's a great fun. Just trying not to buy the wax products. That's always the main one. Thankfully, everyone bought out the Sapphire when I was there the Saturday. That stopped me tempting to buy one. But no, like I say, it was a fantastic. Obviously, I wasn't there the Sunday. Thankfully, I was watching along for an absolute drumming at the London Stadium. That's got all the West Ham fans off my back for a few months because they haven't been stopped talking about Declan Rice this, Declan Rice that. So, yeah, I haven't heard from none of them for a while. But how was the Sunday? How did it all go? Like, obviously, it's a bit more of a relaxed vibe on the Sunday in comparison to the hectic Saturday. But even then, it's still near enough sell out the Sunday. So, how was it in terms of obviously the vendors were slightly different and everything like that? But how was the overall experience on the Sunday?
Very good, actually. Very good. As you said, not as busy, so you can walk around, you can chat quite a lot with each of the vendors and make some good deals again. Yeah, no, I'm glad I went the Sunday because obviously for a couple of reasons, nice pickup, and I did a consignment with Trade Week cards, which felt very strange, of course. But yeah, no, really, really good experience on the Sunday with Lav Breaks. What a man. And yeah, glad I went because it was just good to chat to more people there, which I didn't get the chance to speak to on the Saturday.
I was going to say, I think the people are dying to know now what we actually managed to pick up. And it wasn't about the quantity of this show, it was the quality of what was picked up. And I think you should go first with your lovely Topps product card that you did pull. That was a lovely card. This one for people watching along, this fits the PC absolutely perfectly.
Yeah, I mean, as I said earlier in the podcast, I was not expecting to pick up a card this weekend, or because I've already got, especially for this specific set, I've already got what I want on the way in various different countries around the world. But I saw this, I liked it, and I bought it. And it is, of course, oh, blimey, it's now PSA 8. But there we go. On the Toy Story card stand, it's the iconic moments. We're not aiming for the truck to 28. Mickey Mouse parallel, Disney Chrome. It's just beautiful. Absolutely incredible. I mean, look at the state of that as a card, you know. Oh, it's just, I love it. Showed it to the Topps guys as well, and they absolutely loved it as well for good reason. But yeah, some really good Toy Story cards, and I got it for a good price as well. I thought the seller was really generous or fair with his pricing, which is what we mentioned a few minutes ago in the podcast as well. A lot of people were fair with their pricing.
Yeah, I was going to say it has an absolute beauty. I know, obviously, knowing the collection that you've been putting together of the Toy Story ones, when you come over to me and you was like, I bought a Toy Story card, I was thinking, oh, here we go. What one is it here? Expecting it to be not something as big of that card. And then you showed me, I took back a bit at first. I was like, no, wasn't expecting to be seeing that one. But like we say, that was a true testament to the amount of Disney that was actually at the show. I was rather surprised the amount of Disney cards that were there. There was a few tables that was just full of Disney Chrome, which was great to see. And like I say, that one is definitely one of them that you're going into the weekend not expecting to see that. That's one of them that you see on the Instagram stories or on eBay somewhere for an astronomical amount. So that is a very lovely pickup. I'll move on to my first little bundle. Obviously, it's not going to be any surprise to anyone listening to this podcast that it was from She Scores Cards Table. Obviously, always going to be. I don't think it's going to be a London card show where I don't pick up women's cards. So picked up a couple of CSG, nice little cheaper ones. So a nice Steph Catley refractor from first year, Chrome 9.5. You just don't see them many of them, but when you get the chance to get them already slapped up, might as well. And then a lot of Wobenmoy 10 as well. But then following up with the main one of the deal, which I really wanted to get over the line, which was the Emily Fox Obsidian, obviously the new Arsenal signing in January. Now I've got to collect US women's teams cards, which is fantastic because they're in a lot more sets than every other nation around the world. However, now I've bought the Obsidian, I've been looking at the Floods, and I know you've been collecting the Eberechi Eze floods. It's a very winding road because the obsidian parallels are incredible.
Yeah, no, you need to get some of those floods. Even if you just go for all the floods, like that would look unbelievable. You've got to get that done.
Yeah, now I'm like, get the rest of them. And funny enough, my other main pickup from the show was actually Obsidian as well. And it was another card that I've had my eye on for 5-6 months, but obviously didn't expect to see it at the card show. And I think every one of people's favorite inserts over any of the, whether it's Prism, Obsidian, obviously in American sports in different sets, but is the Color Blast. And it's always the long old debate. Obviously, it's a bit different now, Prism, because they're now portrait rather than landscape. But is it the white Color Blast or the black Color Blast people prefer? And now I've actually ticked off the black Color Blast as well with this Kai Havertz Obsidian Color Blast, which obviously is fantastic that he's not wearing that horrid blue kit that he was wearing. And actually, sadly for him, I think like a lot of people being held back by, but obviously in the German national kit. So I've got that deal done with a very good friend of mine at Gambles Cards, which I was very happy to pick that one up. It's a very hard debate now because I'm looking at both of them here. I've got a white and black Color Blast. They are just a very nice looking card, aren't they?
For me, it's the black Color Blast. I just love how it stands out, and it just reminds me of 2 round 20 Obsidian. But yeah, even the white one on the Lacazette one you've got is beautiful. Oh, look at that. Oh, it's just iconic as well, isn't it?
I was going to say, and talking about iconic, and I think anyone who's just looking at your backdrop can probably work out which play you're going to mainly be PCing, and it's that lovely shirt over your left-hand shoulder, obviously for everyone watching on right-hand shoulder. So there was a pickup because you put in the group chat. I've just made a big pickup and expecting it to be next to nothing, and then nearly dropping my phone when you actually did put it in there. But take it away because this was a proper Super Sunday pickup.
Yeah, I couldn't quite, but it's one of those cards you see when you're just skimming through tables and you're just like, sorry, you have to double take it. I can't quite believe it. I'll just show it. Ebere Eze, 1/1 choice auto. And again, a really fair price for a 1/1 auto. That's my second Eze 1/1, the second 1/1 in my collection. And I mean, it's just it. I can't stop looking at it. It's so nice, and as you said, big PC of Ebere Eze, former QPR player. So I was very happy to pick that one up. Obviously, it did cost a bit, as you'd expect. It's a 1/1 auto. It's Eze. He is quite collectible. But yeah, 2 pretty good pickups. Quality over quantity this weekend for us too.
Oh yeah, I think when you look back at some of the card shows, and sometimes you pick up a card that you're like, I've only really just picked that one up because it was at the show. Whereas these ones are proper PC items. They're not going nowhere. We can officially say that they are not going anywhere. So, like I say, it was a very, very good show for pickups as well, which is always great to see. Obviously, now the next London Card Show is in May, which is quite a bit away. Weirdly enough, it's only a couple of weeks before the end of the season, the next one, which is quite worrying because that means we're now in boring season. I know we've got the Euros this year, but then club football finishes and I actually have to see people at weekends, which is rather different. But obviously, it was now we turn our attention to the next one, obviously in May. Obviously, it's all, I don't know how you go bigger now because it's at capacity. It looks like now the room near enough. So it'd be intriguing to see what Harry and the team, I know they've always got ideas, what they're working on. I think them implementing now signees as well, like the likes of Carlton Cole coming down. Obviously, some of the Lucana artists as well were down. That kind of stuff really engages people. We see that a lot in America, especially obviously the big shows like your Dallas, your Nationals having some really nice names. Hopefully, we'll be able to get some like footballers down. Obviously, it's a bit different for current players because they're either playing or on a rest day, so they don't really want to be walking around a card show. Obviously, the great Tosin is always walking around the card show on his day off, which is always fantastic. But it's nice to see, hopefully, get some more players down. But is there anything else? It's always tricky. It's always a hard question, like what we'd like to see there, because everything that we like seeing there now, we never thought of beforehand. But it's getting to that point of it's very intriguing to see how they start leveling it up, because that room, it was originally downstairs. Will it work upstairs? Will it work fully upstairs? And it's all been ticked off. And it's wondering where it goes from now. Obviously, there is that big PSA. That is the big one that would be like the next massive step. I think if you can get PSA there with their grading machines to grade on site. Otherwise, from that, I think it's hard to work out where to go next and what we want because they're pretty much delivering on everything else.
I was trying to think as you were saying that what I'd want, but other than the PSA on-site grading, I can't think of anything specifically. Obviously, what the differences they do make per show are so subtle, but they make a big difference. Just the slight rearranging of tables and layouts and giving Tops their own little proper area was just a sensational addition. You could see it from right down the back of the hall as well, which is what they've wanted for a long time. And, and Harry's given them a great space there. And it allowed more room for the streaming station as well. I didn't see many people want it, granted, but that might have just been walking around at the wrong time. But just those little slight subtle differences. They're taking in stuff from the US shows, which is good. I'd quite like to see some more US people come to these shows, some more people from outside the UK, so you can get a completely different look at a card show and like the kind of cards they bring along. Obviously more women's cards would be quite fun. And I can't really think of anything else off the top of my head. I guess the people listening can write in and let us know in the next episode. But can't fault anything, to be honest. Keep it as it is.
Yeah, I was going to say, a piggyback on the end of that one of it was a fantastic show. So, yeah, again, a massive thank you to Harry and the team for being so welcoming yet again, for both of us somehow managed to get ambassador status. I still don't know why to this day. I just talk a lot of utter rubbish every Tuesday. And, I would say my co-host, Harry, but don't worry, he was working. He wasn't gallivanting anywhere. So, obviously, it was a massive shame he couldn't join us. Hopefully, he'll be at the next one. But obviously, we now turn our slight attention to upcoming shows. And I hear you've got a little trip to the Emerald Isles coming up.
Oh, yes. Can't wait. Love Ireland. Love Dublin. Great place for a multitude of reasons. We'll be going there. Dublin Card Show. We're looking forward to seeing how that's going to go down. I think they put up a post earlier saying 700 tickets have gone, which is quite impressive for their first show. That'll be good fun. And then we'll see each other on the Southampton Card Show a week later.
I was going to say, it was funny enough. We was talking this as we was leaving. I was leaving on the Saturday, and I was like, oh, I'll see you in about 4 weeks for the Southampton Card Show. Realising it was only 3 weeks, and in between that, you go to Ireland, and I was like, yeah, it's quite a busy period at the moment. But like I say, the Southampton one should be a really good one. Obviously, can't wait to get down there. Obviously, Martin running that one. Tickets are still available for that one as well if you want to do get your tickets. But all the vendors are being announced as well, so it sounds like a good crowd as well going to go down to it. And also the very American feeling of being able to stay in a hotel of where the show's at and being able to just roll down in the lift, not even have to walk down, get in the lift and being in the show. That's what I'm looking forward to more. Actually, no, it's the swimming pool first, because that's definitely something that I'm going to be doing before the card show.
It's a great hotel. It's got everything you need. It's got the swimming pool. It's got a gym. It's got a bar. And the card show is in such a nice room. Nice carpet as well. It's a great place. Martin's done a great job with the Southampton Card Show, what he did with the first one, and I'm sure he'll replicate it again with show number 2. So yeah, very much looking forward to that. Be staying in the Nova Hotel, so I'm sure a lot of us will meet up on the night, do some trades, whatever, and just chat cards as always.
Yeah, like I say, we're really, really looking forward to the upcoming shows. Obviously, everyone who is going along to Dublin, we wish you all the best for that one. It's going to be a great one, especially the local produce I've heard is amazing of a certain beverage. We do not promote it. Obviously, drink responsibly, but I think there'll be a few units of Guinness being consumed by our lovely friends over at the Dublin Card Show. But then obviously on to Southampton, where we hope to see a lot more people there. Especially as well, it was a bit unlucky the first time that they announced train strikes and everything like that went along with it. So hopefully it'll be a nice bumper crowd for that one as well. But I think by the time we speak again, there's no doubt you'll probably be on next week's episode at this rate. Obviously, I've got to ask a question. Obviously, we will be coming on soon as a part of Dub Breaks, which would be brilliant. Obviously, we'll talk about that a lot more in detail. But it is Premier League Prism. Obviously, first off line is actually out the day of recording this. And obviously, Wednesday is Hobby. that's a fun. It's fun release season again. I know after this we're watching back your first off the line breaks that you're in, but it's good to have one of the big releases out that we can look forward to now.
Yeah, that's the one thing I would have said about the card show London one is a lot of the cards we've seen before, the same old sets.
Yeah.
But these upcoming shows, we've got Prism, we've got Chrome will be out soon, no doubt about that. Obviously, the Euro stuff will be out soon by the next London card show, you'd imagine. So yeah, I can't wait. I love Prism. I love Chrome. It's just these are the sets you wait for in the calendar year, and yeah, it's gonna be good fun. And hopefully, by the time this post goes out, I've hit a nice SA 1 of 1 from first off the line.
Yeah, we're not asking for much. We'll settle at Colour Blast as well, I believe. I
Oh,
think that's settled. Yeah. The Colour Blast is definitely going to be one we'll settle. But like we say, it was an absolute fantastic weekend, obviously, at Sandown Racecourse yet again. And we do look forward to the next one, which I believe off the top of my head is the 11th and 12th of May at that territory. So, like we say, I have no doubt we'll see a lot more people down it. But obviously, Jack, yet again, a massive thank you for joining us. Obviously, it was a great weekend to look back on. And now, obviously, looking forward to the next few shows. But no doubt, we'll probably get you back on with Dub Breaks, but also then to discuss how Dublin went and obviously looking forward to Southampton as well.
Yep, sounds good. Thanks for having me on. I'm looking forward to coming on again with hopefully a few other people with the Dub Breaks chat. Yeah, and talk you through the card shows I went to. So yeah, I will see you soon. Thanks for having me on, and subscribe.
Absolute pleasure, definitely. All the links will be down below, and definitely with all the releases coming up, it's going to be a great one to be following on, especially all that Euro content that will be due out at some point, chasing hopefully for you, Lyndon Dykes, and other players getting it. But like we say, just a massive thanks yet again to the guys over at the Third Down Displays for sponsoring this episode of the Top Load Podcast. Do make sure to check out their page and use TTP10 for 10% off. But most importantly, I hope everyone out there is staying safe, doing well, buying, selling, trading, and all that good jazz. And most importantly, happy hobbying and good night.